Aloha, everybody. This is Cathy Bilsky, your spiritual guardian God. See, this is what happens when I laugh too much in the beginning of a show. Your spiritual warrior goddess, Cathy Bilsky, on the Quantum Leap Let Light Unite show on UPRN Radio, and that's uprn.radiostream321.com. And this is Friday night, September 9th, 2016, and depending on where you're at is depending on what time it is. Tonight, I'm figuring, how are you guys doing with Mercury in retrograde? Yeah, we're still in it for another week or so. Yeah, good times, huh? And if you don't know what Mercury in retrograde is if it can go wrong, it will. You know, appointments may not want to come together. Things take extra effort. Electrical things can happen. Your cars can break down. Phones don't work. Really miscommunication. It's not a time to really start anything new or start a new relationship or sign any contracts. You know, it's a time for finishing up, completing things, going internal. And there's a lot of times I see what I call the retrograde crowd. Only I see them when Mercury's in retrograde. And it also could mean it's pulling people back into your life that you have unfinished business. And it's a good time for completing things and, finalizing and getting it done. So what I thought tonight I would do, because it's a little squirrely out there, I would do the energy balancing, curse removal, and then we'll also do an update on what's going on at the Dakota pipeline and a little bit of energy work. And I'd love to do a tribute to the unions. And if we have time, we're going to talk about Pokemon. I mean, honest to God, are you guys actually still playing that CIA game? Wow. Hello. Did you know you're working for them when you play that game? Oh, well, think about it. When you sign that agreement over, it says, it can do whatever it wants with your phone, take all your information, use your phone at will, your camera, and what do you think they do with all that information? So if this was a CIA-funded creation, and it is, if you go and do the backstory and follow the dots, and if I have time, I'll get into that later. You just have to think about, if it's CIA, what do they want you to do? So if they want to look at an area and really get good surveillance, all they have to do is put a Pokemon monster in that area with high points. And there you've got all these crazy zombie people looking for that Pokemon with their cameras on, taking all this video of this area, not even know they're being, used for surveillance. I mean, how sick and twisted is that? Wow. Yeah, the game of not to mention the satanic symbols that's in it. And I mean, my God, Pokemon means pocket monsters. So what are you doing? You're manifesting monsters. So you got all these crazy, weird people manifesting monsters all over the world, because actually it's, a virtual reality, but it still is reality. When these people see these things, they're going, oh, there it is. To them, it's real. And, these things don't grow into really angels of healing and, really warm, wonderful creatures. They turn into monsters and evil things that do nasty stuff, pretty demon-like. So you might really want to check into it, really look at the game, read that terms of agreement, and then decide if you want to become and work for the CIA, because if you play the game, you are. So what I'm going to do, like I said, we're going to do the energy balancing and the curse removal, and let's get that going. For those of you who've not ever done it before, just sit down and relax and just start breathing, taking gentle deep breaths, but not so you hyperventilate on me while I explain this. So I'm going to open up all your energy centers, the top of your head, the crown chakra, your third eye, your throat, heart, solar plexus, belly button, your root chakra, which is at the base of your spine, there's your feet, and I'm going to open up the ones in your hands. And that just gets your spiritual energy flowing, okay? And then at the end, I remove curses and remove energy overlays, and it really helps clear your path, helps you move forward. And when I'm done, you should feel a lot lighter, okay? All right, so just sit down. If you're going to participate, put your feet flat on the floor, and if you can, sit as straight up as you can. And like I said, you should be breathing gently, so you're not hyperventilating on me. And as you're doing that, I'm going to surround each and every one of you in a bubble of golden flame. I add to that the blue flame of protection, the violet flame of transmutation, the green flame of healing, and I seal you in the pink flame of love. And I'm going to ask all your teachers, guides, masters, and all the divine beings and the angels that are working with you to come on in and gather around you and help make this energy work as gentle, loving, and kind as we can. And anywhere that you hurt, I want you to imagine one of my really cool angel light tools over it, and you can imagine a tennis ball cut, a mushroom, okay? It's like a magic mushroom that glows in the dark, but it'll take your pain away, and it's made out of rocks. So imagine that mushroom head where it hurts, and there's the crystal sticking out, and that angel light tool is going to draw out any dark energy, any dis-ease, aches, or pains that you have. So take one more deep breath and exhale out everything left in your body that no longer serves you, and imagine that energy going through the violet flame back to God, and you fill up with your divine essence. So I want you to imagine this incredible divine healing energy coming down from God, coming into the top of your head, and feel that energy flow out your third eye and your forehead. And now feel that energy flow through your brain, and feel every cell, atom, molecule in your brain reconnect with the Creator. And now you're opening yourself up you're becoming full of new possibilities, and you're going to go beyond your divine potential and be filled with joy. Now feel that energy flow down and allow it to flow out of your throat chakra. And now feel it come out of your heart chakra. And feel it flow down even farther, and feel it flow out of your solar plexus. And now feel that energy flow down even farther so it comes out of your belly button chakra. And now feel that energy flow down even farther so it comes out of your sacral chakra. And now allow that energy to flow down even farther and feel it flow out of your root chakra. And now feel that energy flow all the way down your legs. Let it go out your feet and send it into the earth. Feel it flow down your arms and out your hands and right down your spine. And again, take one more deep breath, and as you exhale this time, feel anything dark or negative or unwanted energy that's left in your body being gently released as you exhale, or being drawn out by the angel light tools on your body. And then breathe normal. As you're doing that, I call to Michael the Archangel to come forth and cut all ties to any energy you've taken on that's not yours, whether it's from a friend, relative, acquaintance, stranger, anybody you work with, TV set, animal, whatever the karmic reason is that created anything out of balance in your life or your body today. And as all that unwanted energy is peeled off of you gently like an onion skin, it all goes through the violet flame back to God, and you fill up with your divine essence. And now I want Michael to come forth, cut all ties to reptile, dinosaur energy, secret societies, organized religion, cut all ties to any oaths, vows, curses, hexes, rituals that could have been done to you or your family, going backwards and forwards, hundreds of thousands of generations, or anything you could have done, consciously or unconsciously. And as all that unwanted energy too peeled off of you gently like an onion skin, it all goes through the violet flame back to God, and you fill up with more of your divine essence. And now I want Michael to come forth, cut all ties to any effigies that have been misused against you, and that's any elemental of yours who was used to hurt you or anyone, including anything you own. Clothes, hair, picture, your name spoken, written, just thought of, or anything you have your energy on. And as ties to all those elementals are cut, I call the violet flame through them to clean it up, the angel light energy to heal. We fill them up with love, and I command them to be neutral or only emit love. And now I want Michael to come forth, remove any energy implants that could have been done to you or anything that could have carried over from any other lifetime because of dark magic, voodoo, dark witchcraft, or even just dark thoughts. So I want the stick, pen, needle, or knife that's in your crown chakra removed from your third eye, your throat, heart, solar plexus, belly button, root, feet, hands, spine, your eyes, ears, nose, mouth, hips, teeth, anywhere in your body that's out of balance. And as you feel all those pins, needles, and knives being very gently removed, imagine all those spaces immediately fill up with the violet flame to clean it up, the angel light energy to heal. We release all that unwanted energy back to God, and you keep filling up with more of your divine essence. And now I want Michael to come forth, cut all ties to patriarchy, genocide, rape, incest, slavery, prostitution, persecution, circumcision, removing any energy overlay that's trying to manipulate you, keeping you from connecting with God, healing yourself, being really successful, fulfilling all your divine missions, and living your life in joy. And as all that unwanted energy is gently removed that's keeping all these wonderful things from coming to you, we also send it through the violet flame back to God, and you fill up with more of your divine essence. So if there is anybody out there that's directing any kind of dark energy at you, whether it is past, present, future, or whether it's through witchcraft, voodoo, black magic, or just dark thoughts sent your way, we're going to ask them to stop, because if they're doing it to you, they are doing it to others, and step forward in the light. And if they choose not to, which is their free will, we ask their higher selves and guardian angels to put them in a position of complete harmlessness. We surround them in a bubble of mirror, and the mirror faces them. It's 2 inches from their nose, and we're going to put the violet flame in the bubble to transmute any of their dark energy so they have no forward movement. And the bubble of mirror stays up 24/7, 365 days a year until they do works of good. I call to your higher self and ask your higher self to activate your divine blueprint for perfect health, the one that you came in, that you put together before you incarnated into this physical body. And feel it starting to manifest now. Let all that energy integrate in a very gentle, kind, loving way with your cells, atoms, molecules, all your internal organs, going all the way down into your DNA. And with every breath, feel more of you just come together. Feel yourself becoming very clear-headed, very centered, very open to new possibilities. You have greater intuition. And again, let that energy integrate in a very gentle, kind, loving way with your cells, your atoms, your molecules, all your internal organs going all the way down into your DNA. And I'm not going to ground you till the end of the show. And while you're in this very, very sacred space, I'm going to ask if you would do a little bit of energy work with me. And the work I want to do is I want to awaken the spiritual warriors. So will you join me in this energy work? Let there be light in the name of the presence of God, which I am, through the magnetic power of the sacred fire vested in me, I command. I ask that all magic that is keeping the spiritual warriors from awakening be removed. May all the spiritual warriors reconnect to the Creator and become aware of their divine missions, putting them into action. See these people fill up with so much light. They draw to themselves everything they need to be successful and happy. Awaken spiritual warriors inside me. I ask that all magic in myself that is keeping the spiritual warriors from awakening be removed. May all the spiritual warriors within me be activated with the Creator and become aware of their divine missions, putting me into action. See these people within me fill up with so much light. I fill everyone and everything with awakening light, with much success and happiness. I call to the spiritual warriors of light who are on all the other dimensions to come forth and give us help on the earth plane, to help awaken and inspire those who are open to the possibilities of going beyond their divine potential, doing selfless acts for the planet, and to work with us to help us manifest World Enlightenment 2016. So be it. So take a deep breath and just imagine that energy just going out to the planet and touching all those spiritual warriors' hearts. Now, while I've got you in this really sacred space, I just want to remind you that we are having a big event September 22nd. Mark your calendars, and we're going to do another push for World and Enlightenment 2016. And you know we're going to be there when we actually have no more wars. Oh, yeah, what a concept, huh? So please check out the Enlightenment Movement 2016.shutterfly.com, the website, and, start giving it greater energy. And on that day, all you got to do is just chant, may divine enlightenment descend down around everyone now. Is that too hard? May divine enlightenment awaken within everyone now. May divine enlightenment descend down around everyone now. May divine enlightenment awaken within everyone now. That's all you got to do is chant that day, and that's it. As much as you like. And if you get together with a group of people and hold a crystal, it's awesome. So again, that's Enlightenment Movement 2016.shutterfly.com, and that's ENLIGHTENMENTMOVEMENT 2016.shutterfly.com. Who else? If we don't manifest world enlightenment, who in the world do you think's going to do it? All right, so just relax now. All right? Put your feet flat on the ground and just feel some of that earth energy come up. And feel yourself ground just a little bit. So let's do a really quick update on the Dakota Access Pipeline. In a stunning turn of events, today the federal government announced two big decisions relating to the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe and the Dakota Access Pipeline, which will threaten sacred burial sites and put drinking water at risk. One, the federal government is calling on Energy Transfer Partners, the owner of the Dakota Access Pipeline, to voluntarily, and I really can't say voluntarily with these people, without laughing my rear off. Okay, so the government's asking these energy guys to voluntarily halt all construction activity within 20 miles east or west of Lake Oahe, sacred land to the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe. Okay, all right, so let's kind of look at this. Now, if you were Energy Transfer Partners and the federal government comes in and goes, oh, guys, would you please just don't do it? Please, come on, volunteer. Just don't do it. Really? Just please, for me, can you be the good guys? I mean, these guys are putting $3.8 billion, and that's with a capital B, billion, dollars, the investors, into this oil pipeline. And the government actually had the balls to just ask them to voluntarily halt. I mean, my God, that's like bringing Rick Schneider in, which they did, down to the government. And he's the guy, the government of Michigan, that really is screwing up the whole state, not let alone he's responsible for the poisoning of Flint, Michigan, another water issue. Except those people in Flint, most of them are black, so who cares, right? Well, then you got the Sioux over here. Well, they're Indians. Who cares, right? Well, if you don't really look at the bigger picture, you should care. They're the protectors of the land, and they're standing up for your rights and my rights. And they're not talking it. They're out there doing it. And the people in the Sioux tribe, they're getting dogs sent out that actually bit a lot of people. And that's, you can go into that. This is how bad it's getting to. Now, the North American Indians the Sioux went down to the government and told them exactly where their sacred sites were on this property. And lo and behold, the next day, the Energy Transfer Partners sent bulldozers to bulldoze those sacred sites. Coincidence, huh? Did the government do anything about it? Oh, God, no. Of course not. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds. That's the whole point. They're voluntarily asking them to halt. But then again, the government sent in the National Guard, which we'll see how that unfolds. Of course, saying to protect all the protesters. Okay, and what do you say about the police that stood by watching these security people with their dogs tearing people up, even a little girl, and biting a face? And I watched the video a lot. And, these security people were definitely the antagonizer, especially that one woman that had the dog. I mean, she made that dog go into the crowd. That's criminal. And those people should all go to jail. I'm sorry. When you hurt people like that, no. Okay, so number 2, the Army is also not authorizing construction of the Dakota Access Pipeline at Lake Oahe until it determines if previous permitting decisions need to be reevaluated due to the issues raised by the Standing Rock Sioux tribe. Now, really, this is an amazing victory because the Obama administration is responding to public pressure to uphold human rights. That, and probably because 100 tribes are out there right now, and maybe more than 4,000 people showing up and protesting, and not just there, but everywhere. So, we need to send Energy Transfer Partners and the CEO, Kelsey Warren, a letter demanding his company follow the federal government's request and voluntarily, oh God, I'm sorry, I was laughing again, halt construction of the Dakota Access Pipeline. And in their statement, the Army announced that they hope to make quick decisions around the pipeline, which means we need to make our voices heard loudly, clearly, and quickly that we stand with the Standing Rock Sioux tribe. Well, what you can do, if you got your pen and paper down, I will give you Obama's phone number to the White House. It's 202-456-1111. And, if you like to write, I'll give you the fax. That one is 202-456-2461. So again, the White House number is 202-456-2461. 456-1111. The fax number is 202-456-2461, and I am sure they would absolutely love to hear from you. And just say you stand with the Standing Rock Sioux tribe and the Dakota Sioux tribe, and that you say no to the pipeline. That's all. Not a big deal. Just make some effort. Well, we just went through in the United States Labor Day. It was like last Monday. And, you know, all over the world there's unions. So I wanted to do a tribute to the union. My dad was a UAW union member. And, you know, I grew up a daughter of a UAW member. And for me, I wrote this down as a way to say thank you. For without the UAW and unions, I would not have had such a good life. And so this is actually my way of giving back. Now, my dad's name is Frank Louis Bilsky and would be 104 if he was still alive. My dad worked for Cadillac Detroit Division for 35 years. He was a skilled tool and die man, UAW member, blue-collar worker, and very pro-union. He was UAW Local 22. We lived on the east side of Dearborn, Michigan, the hometown of Henry Ford. Ford had their headquarters, Ford Motor Company headquarters, just down the street from us. In practical terms, that meant Ford paid out some mighty high taxes to the city of Dearborn, so the city lacked for nothing. My schools were built like castles with indoor pools. There seemed to be a park every few blocks, a big ice skating rink in the winter, a community center with a big indoor roller skating rink. Then we had Camp Dearborn that was an hour away out in the country that had lakes, rides, camping, and weekend dancing. My dad chose well, and the majority of our neighbors were factory workers for one of the many auto companies that were in the state of Michigan. You know, there was just so many at that time. And this is what people did. They worked in the car factories in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. So many of us grew up thinking that we would follow in our father's footsteps by getting hired in one of the many auto plants that was in Michigan. It was a normal thought the children of union members had. Well, why not follow in your parents' footsteps? For they were making a very good money that they shared with their families. I personally couldn't, get myself to go into the factory, but, this is about my dad. My friends and I had a pet name for those who worked the automobile factories, which was factory rats. People who could handle routine of doing something over and over again. Of course, all those factory rats just laughed, for they all had homes, new cars, new boats, snowmobiles. I'm in Michigan. And all the play toys grown men and women wanted to buy. They were living the life of the upper middle class that worked like hell to earn it. Another positive point I have to say about union members, they shared the wealth with the local business. No hoarding like the top 1% who seem to get great pleasure at the mass fortunes they have sitting safe in their offshore bank accounts. Union members shared the wealth. I remember growing up, my father telling me stories about he and others picketed for their rights. It was not easy, and many fights broke out between the workers and the automobile companies. My father was hit on the head during one of these times on the picket line that sent him to the hospital and probably kept him out of World War II. He said he was told he was too skilled to be sent off to fight. I'm so proud of my dad standing up for his and other rights. If it wasn't for the tenacity combined with much courage, you would not have what you have now in the unions. Needless to say, when you had to fight so hard for your rights and the coming together of people uniting as one and winning and getting your head bashed in to achieve your goals, well, our house was pro-union and you could not talk the union down at all. And if you did, bad move on your part. Dad would remind you in a very loud voice of all the great things the union achieved. My dad was skilled labor and made pretty good money that I took for granted. I was little. We had our home in Dearborn, and then my dad invested in some cabins in the Upper Peninsula that we rented out during the summers and, of course, during hunting season. Looking back, we had our winter home and our summer home on a small lake where I got to spend my summers growing up. I would have to say we were upper middle class folk. We lived simply, yet lacked for nothing. My dad paid off both these properties during his run at Cadillac. I remember my dad working a lot. Well, why wouldn't he? Getting paid time and a half after a 40-hour week was good money. Holidays? Oh, God, you got double time for holidays. Hardly anyone refused holiday time. I do remember when the paychecks came in, how my dad complained and how much taxes were taken out, so it was hardly worth putting the time in. Yet I don't remember him refusing holiday work either. When they asked him to work weekends, he did. The pay was good. When you're paid well, you don't mind putting in the extra hours. Back then, you were rewarded for your work. The strong union was responsible for that. Back then, my dad worked so much that I think the auto layoffs were a little welcome, as long as they didn't go on for too long. Everyone complained, but then had time to live their lives to go hunt and fish. If it went on for too long, everyone was counting their pennies, waiting for the factories to start back up, calling everyone back to work. Strikes and layoffs were just a part of our lives. Strikes were a pain in the ass. I can only imagine the stress the strikers went through. While the strike was going on, the beers in the house flowed freely as people got together to play cards to keep busy. Listening to the news, strike talk was the only news conversation in the house, as everyone was on edge waiting for it to be over soon. However, everyone knew it meant that they would get a raise of some kind. The union bargainers were exceptionally brilliant and successful. They knew how to win against the big three auto companies. I do remember a few UAW strikes that seemed to go on for many weeks, with many of Dad's factory friends wondering how they would make it through. Then, like after a bad storm, the sun comes out, new contracts are signed, people go back to work, and all goes back to normal. I remember my dad did have a lot of vacation time, which he worked hard for during the midnight shifts. And I asked him why he liked the midnight shifts, for it was hard to sleep during the day with all the day noises happening, barking dogs, yelling kids, normal neighborhood stuff. My dad answered that the midnight shift was much easier, for you saw very few bosses. Oh, yeah, and it was easier to sneak out that special tool he made, or a part that was needed for some new project of his. How, you ask? Well, in his toolbox, or wrapped up in a newspaper. Then he simply walked out to the car. Things were pretty lax back then. I never did say my dad was a perfect angel, now did I? Now let's get back to talking about vacation time. If it wasn't for the bargaining power of the unions, my dad wouldn't have gotten hunting season off. Yep, he was an avid hunter and fisherman. Now I realize how well we really ate, for much of our food was from all the hunting and fishing trips the men in our family went on. Yeah, I went on them too. I remember being up north at the cabins during the summer with my mother and only saw my dad on long weekends, for he worked so much. Then it was off to the river to fish. As he worked his way up the ranks, Dad would also get a Christmas, Easter, New Year's Day off. Unless he needed to make that extra overtime money, the longer my dad worked for Cadillac, the better his benefits got. The family had health care, for it seemed like someone was always going to the doctor for anything and everything. When you had good medical and dental with a small deductible, you could afford to see the doctor and dentist and get the eye care you needed. All taken care of and paid for through the union's awesome contracts. That included family health care. You also had paid sick leave that you could use up or accumulate. Now, how many times were sick days used to go up snowmobiling in the Upper Peninsula at the cabins? And if my memory serves me well, it was a lot. Factory work was far from easy. And I would see my dad down that highball, which is whiskey and 7-Up, right after he got home from the midnight shift to relax and calm his nerves. People weren't pot smokers back then, so drinking was the thing to do. That was normal in my house. By the time noon came around, Dad was probably down 2, maybe 3 highballs to help him get to sleep. Sleep is 8 hours, then get up to go to work that midnight shift, and the cycle started again. Like I said, factory work was intense. Dad finally retired from Cadillac Detroit Division after 35 years of service at the age of 62. I asked him why he was retiring early, for back then normal retirement was 65. My dad looked at me calmly and said that all his friends that retired at 65, they all died within 6 months of retirement. And I cannot tell you how many people tell me that 40 years later that this still holds to be true. Based on that brilliant observation, my dad retired at 62 and lived till 82, receiving his full pension. He was truly one of the lucky ones and was taken care of in his retirement years because of the awesome bargaining of the UAW back then. And that's the United Auto Workers. He lacked for nothing and taught me how to share the wealth with family. I think when you're a blue-collared worker, you have a different understanding about money, and unlike wealthy people who hoard their money, my dad shared his pension with his family when they were in need. He worked hard, paid off his 2 homes, and had no debts to speak of when he retired. I remember him putting that accumulated retirement money back into all of his children. He had 5. So when he died, there was just enough money to pay for the funeral. Really, Dad, way to go. You were not a hoarder. And it said that whatever money you had left in your bank account when you die is all those extra hours you just didn't need to work. My dad, you zeroed yourself out by sharing the wealth before you passed, which allowed you to experience that joy of giving to others in need, especially your children and grandchildren, and see the good that pension money did. If it wasn't for the union and all it achieved, I would not have had such an amazing, blessed life that I did. It gave my dad freedom to live the dream. He understood family and shared what he made with us. Trust me, he had his faults, but who didn't back then or now? But he showed me how important unions are and what can happen when a group of people come together in unity to help uplift each other. Our life was generated through hard-fought battles on the picket line. My dad made his stand with many others, and they won many hard-earned rights that the companies have learned now how to go around to stop workers from receiving their fair income. What a chess game that seems to be played now between unions and big business. Because of unions and my dad making it through 35 years at Cadillac, I got to live the middle-class dream life when I was growing up, which back then was not a dream, but a living reality and action. Boy, support the unions, guys. We really, really, really need them. You know, it's important, and it's people getting together. And when that happens, magic happens. You shift things and you can change things. You want to do something really great? Go join the people in South Dakota. Go help them. give them some energy. They're making a stand. They're on the front line. Become a protector. What's going on in your area that you can stand up for the planet Earth? You don't have to go to South Dakota to do it. Find something on that's local, that grabs your heart. That's your mission, and go do it. Give it your all. It will give you such satisfaction, and you're actually going to be helping the Earth really change and help us quantum leap the world into enlightenment. We can't do it without you. Work with that energy of love. And I don't mean the airy-fairy kind. The actual energy of love. It can create miracles. So instead of getting angry at somebody, either walk away or turn your back to them and imagine them in a pink bubble of love. And then from the very core of your being, imagine love coming out of you to them. And if you have to stay focused, and in your mind just chant love, 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 love on whatever sound you want to do. Love, 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 love. Two things are going to happen. One, either that energy is so high that they're going to make them feel uncomfortable and they're not going to be able to hang in that room and they're going to leave. That's not bad. You don't need to deal with that energy. Or two, you're going to send them so much love, it's going to help raise their energy again, shift it back into the light. They're going to laugh at themselves for being such idiots and being angry. And you're going to become friends again. That's the only two possibilities. And either way, you really can't lose, because who wants to fight with somebody who's angry and just waste all that energy unnecessarily? So play with it. It's amazing what happens when you work with that energy of love. Miracles happen. In your free time, if you want to do a little bit of service work, just chant. Divine enlightenment, descend down around everyone now. Divine enlightenment, descend around everyone now. Divine enlightenment, descend around everyone now. Divine enlightenment, awaken within everyone now. Divine enlightenment, awaken with everyone now. That will make a difference on the planet. And you're also reconnected to the Creator, and you yourself has raised your energy and your vibration. I love it. What goes around comes around. So let's ground before we end the program. And I'm sure you've got to be feeling very light, very happy, I hope, and, without drugs. So you got to come down just a little bit, because if I let you go in this altered state and something happens to you, it's on me, okay? It's my karma. So please put your feet flat on the ground, feel that earth energy come up, and as it comes up, your legs, feel yourself becoming a little bit heavier, becoming grounded. Feel your energies now pull into your body. Feel yourself very focused, very calm, very centered, and very back in body. And with every breath, the more of that earth energy is coming up your legs, and you're becoming even more centered, more focused, more grounded. For those of you who have the stone hematite, go grab it and hold it until you're not feeling lightheaded. Hematite's a wonderful grounding stone. I love it, love it, love it for grounding. You got to get your taxes or go down, like to a meeting and you need to stay calm. Hold hematite. Put hematite in your pocket. And for those of you who can, if you're still kind of high after the show, go find a tree, put your hand on the tree, and imagine all your excess energy going into the tree. And then ask the tree to send you energy back. And you're going to find yourself just, boom, grounding and coming back in body. So, you're having a mutually beneficial experience with the elemental kingdom. So, you wanted to remember all of our shows are archived, and you can hear mine on iCloud and SoundCloud.com. Gosh, we're all over the place. I love this station. If you feel really inspired, the station does not refuse donations, and we've got all these incredible programs on here. So you can go to the station, and I'm sure they have a donation button that you could actually push. And come on, you can help us stay on the air. Joe's out there really, making sure you've got some really high quality, including moi, programs on air. So show your gratitude a little bit, and believe me, we are so gratitude. And thank you, all the listeners, for tuning in and giving this, the energy work, some support. Are you talking about enlightenment, quantum leaping the world into enlightenment? Help me put out that thought form. There's over 400,000 of you guys listening. If a little bit, just like once, have you thought about world enlightenment? It's the 100 monkey theory. You put those thoughts out there. And when enough people start talking about it, magic happens and things shift. So let's make quantum leap easier. Talk about it a little bit. How would enlightenment affect your life? How do you see it? How is it manifesting in your life now? Are you seeing the miracles? And if you're not, then you're not looking. And if you want a miracle, God, are you breathing? Yeah, that's your connection to the Creator. No breath, no life, huh? That's a real no-brainer, huh? So enjoy the week. Do random acts of kindness. Chant, may divine enlightenment descend around everyone now. May divine enlightenment awaken within everyone now. And with that, I'm going to bid you good night. Have a great weekend, and we'll catch you next week. Come to Hawaii, Honeka'a, where my store is, Cathy's Angel Light Crystals, Miracles and Joy. And you can catch me on Facebook. Aloha.